Hello vegan adventurers, welcome to another vlog from Punta, Chile. Today we're gonna be hiking in Reserva Nacional Magallanes. So we got here with Uber in about half an hour from Punta Arenas and we had to pay $5 for entrance. So you have to pay almost everywhere for hiking in Chile. And otherwise it would cost $8, but today we couldn't do the big loop but only the short one because of the strong winds. So first we're gonna do the small loop, which is only 530 meters and has access for wheelchair, and I think also blind people can read the informations. And after that we're gonna do the long hike which would connect to the Punta Arenas town again. So it still amazes me how in Chile and Argentina they're making a tourist pay for little hikes like this. In Europe this will be 100% for free. And it's mainly because it's a business that they're promoting Patagonia as a top tourist destination. So here you see the information table for blind people, and here's information about endemic trees. So there are trees that are only growing here in the sub-Antarctic forest of Chile and Argentina. So there are 49 species of birds in this reserve, and 47 of them are nesting here and 2 species are just visitors. So here are some of the mammals living in this area. So there is a skunk who eats like insects, some invertebrates like frogs and bird eggs. There is also some little wolf with some wild fruits and some wild birds, also insects. And there's also puma who eats like rabbits and also some domesticated animals. So puma is really rare to see, and I think it's avoiding humans, so it's not really dangerous. And these are the footprints it's making, so it's quite big, and you would be really lucky if you get to see a puma. So here we got to this little viewpoint and you can see the ocean down there and also the Punta Arenas town. So this is the fauna of the reserve. So there are also some edible berries like this one called calafate. So it looks like a little blueberry. Then they also have cranberries, which we're gonna try later. And finally there is a berry of cordilleras. So I haven't seen this one, but it looks like a raspberry and it's also edible. And there was this tree, and under it we found this little fruit, and we're not sure what they are. They are like really soft and kind of look like little mushrooms, but we're not sure if it's edible. So comment down below if you know what this is. trying the cranberries. I know they're cranberries because I tried them before in Slovakia. They're usually growing in higher altitudes, and they can survive really cold winters. Climate of the reserve. In the reserve there are three types of climate. Trans-Andean climate with a steep generation. On the northeastern part of the reserve, precipitation range from 400 to 600 millimeters a year. It lacks a defined dry season. Rainfalls are concentrated in autumn, and there is a moderate thermal amplitude of about 10 degrees Celsius. Temperate cold climate with high humidity. On the southwestern part of the reserve, precipitation are higher, close to 600 millimeters a year. The thermal amplitude reaches 5 degrees approximately. Isothermal tundra climate. In high peak areas, precipitation ranges from 650 to 2000 millimeters a year, distributed uniformly and with a thermal oscillation between -2 and 15 degrees Celsius. Temperature. The average year temperature varies close to 7 degrees Celsius. Coldest month, July, 2.5 degrees on average. Warmest month, January, 11.7 degrees on average. The thermometer can register temperatures up to 22 degrees Celsius. Winds. There are great movements and periodicity during the months of spring and autumn, reaching its highest magnitudes during the summer months. The dominant wind direction is from west to east, with a minimum average speed of 13.9 km per hour and maximum average speed of 56.4 km per hour, which is a really strong wind. So next we're going to Mirador, Las Minas, this way. So this is not the route that we plan to go. As I told you at the beginning, we wanted to do some bigger loop, but the rangers at the office told us that today the wind was too strong and there was danger of falling branches, and this route probably doesn't have such a strong wind. So some people come to South America just to observe the different plants and trees that grow here, because as I said before, some of them are endemic to this area, so it means they are not growing in any other place. So now we got to this crossroad and we keep going straight to Mirador, Las Minas. But if we did that loop that we wanted to do initially, we would come here from the left side. Alright, so here we stopped for a lunch break, and you can see it's pretty cold, so we are not enjoying it much in this weather, but Sonia had some rice with some beans and avocado, zucchini and some other vegetables, and I have potatoes. Simple, easy, vegan. So once we got out of the shadow of the forest, it got actually pretty warm on the sun, but still I can't imagine living here all year long. Even in the summer the temperatures are only 15 degrees Celsius. So today we couldn't go on the big loop hike that we planned to go and see the viewpoint because they said the wind is too strong and it's dangerous, or some trees fell down or something. So we're just doing this loop that takes like an hour and a half, and we're just going down the hill basically back to Punta Arenas. So we paid 4,000 pesos for this together, so 2,000 per person, sorry, and otherwise you would pay 4,000 per person for the whole loop. So I'm not sure, like hikes like this you can see in Slovakia and you don't have to pay anywhere. So it's like really overrated, this South America or Patagonia in general. Then we arrived to the Mirador Las Minas, where you can see the whole Punta Arenas with the ocean in the background and also a nice canyon. So there was this interesting rock formation down there, and it looks like man-made, but I think it might be natural also. So in the distance it looks exactly like a rock excavation site, but I don't think they would allow it here in such a protected areas. But who knows, people have money, they can buy police, they can buy government, and they can go around the laws, so anything is possible here. What do you think? So after enjoying the viewpoint of Las Minas, we started heading down towards Punta Arenas again, and we're just saying how the woods like this you can find in Serbia or Europe anytime, and you don't have to pay anything, like no fee, and there's even better marking routes here in Europe, and I think it's overrated, especially here where you don't even see any mountains. And plus you have these barbed wire fences everywhere. Like, this should not happen in a nature reserve, that you have barbed wire fences. It's really bad for animals who are living here, like rabbits and other animals. So this water is like a brown color, or it's like making the brown color, and it probably has many minerals, but we're not gonna drink it because we're not sure if it's really, you know, not contaminated from some houses up there. So, but yeah, must have a high mineral value. So I just smell the water, and it just smells like iron. So it must be really high in iron, this water. It's really funny. So here we got to the spring of the stream, and that is where it's coming out from the ground, so it's not going through some houses making pollution. And I'm not gonna drink it because it has maybe too much minerals, like iron, and can upset your stomach. So the water is coming out from here. Never seen a stream like this. I gave it a sip. It's really high value of iron or something. Wow. No, I'm gonna drink it because I'm not sure how much, you know, minerals you can have. So then we got out of the forest, and the path was going more uphill. So here are the cranberries again, and you can eat them, and they're actually pretty sweet when they are fully ripe, and they also contain lots of great nutrients. we're getting closer and closer to Punta Arenas. There are less trees. It was more like stepas here, and I'm not sure if it was from the people cutting the woods or if this is a natural environment here like this. And here on the left side we saw some steep slope and reminded us of going up Tunguragua, where we had to go up the really steep and slippery gravel, and we had the guide with us who didn't want to help us at all, even though he had equipment. So he wanted to make his job easy, and so we just followed him, but when we struggled he didn't want to help us, so that was one of the bad experiences in Ecuador. And here you can see that there are trees down there, so I don't think it's natural for these deforested areas. I think people just got cold and we're cutting the woods like no tomorrow.
Shit.
So when we looked down on that viewpoint, we saw some hole there, and when we looked closer, we saw some rabbit. So it's really rare to see wild animals like this, and yet there are still people who want to hunt these animals even though they're so rare, and they're saying they're like pests and are overpopulated. The only animals that are overpopulated are humans and destroying the environment. What are the rabbits doing to environment that's destroying it? So yeah, if we want to see more animals like this in nature, we should stop hunting and also stop eating meat, because eating meat requires lots of land, and therefore the natural habitat of these animals have to be destroyed. So those are two main things to protect the environment and wild animals. So here we're talking about depression and why people are depressed. So if you notice, most depressed people just living in cities, living for materialistic shit, and they never go to nature. So it's impossible if you go to nature, explore unknown paths and be depressed. So for people who are depressed, I recommend to go on multiple day hikes, and that would cure them for sure. So from this point the path turned on the left and we're going down this steep slope in a zigzag motion, and we should connect to that main road down there where the river is flowing. And on the way down we saw this black dog, and we thought there is an owner behind him, but there was nobody, and he actually started following us after, same like the black dog a few days ago. And when we got down, the dog seemed like he was showing us something, like in these bushes over here, but we didn't see anything there. So we're almost down at the end of the trail, and there was actually opening and closing hours of this nature reserve. So the closing hours was like 6 p.m. and we're just getting down on time. So that's one thing I dislike about these national parks and reserves, that you can't just do your own time. You have to get out on time before they're closing the gate, which I don't know why it's like 6 p.m. like it's getting dark at like 9 or 10 p.m. here in Punta Arenas in the summer. So it's just ridiculous, and there should be somebody waiting at the end here, but it was closed, so they don't even take it so seriously. If something happened to you, nobody would even care. So these closing hours are just so they can go home sooner from here, and they just want your money, and that's why they put barbed wire fence all around. So that's one thing I really dislike about South America, that they just made nature a business, which is really bad. So I'm looking at this, that looks like a rock excavation site, but I thought it was just natural formation because it's a nature reserve. But when I see the machine just next to it, it makes me believe that they're still excavating some rocks from here. And I think this whole place actually used to be one big excavation site, looking at all those cliffs, and they just made it into a natural reserve later on. So now we got locked out. It was I'm not sure when they closed this gate, but we couldn't get through anymore. And you can see they put barbed wire fence all around here, so people can't get to nature reserve without paying. So it's ridiculous how far they would go in South America, and it's a shame on the whole Chilean and South American culture for doing these things. Like in Europe, they would not do this and lock you out in a nature reserve that's not even so special as you saw in the video. We have much more beautiful places in Europe that are completely for free. So I would not want to live here long term because of these things. It's just insane. I'm not sure why they're doing it for, just for a few dollars that you would pay for that. It's bad for animals, bad for everybody. So definitely bad culture for this. So after we climbed over that barbed wire fence, which was pretty dangerous, you can rip your skin apart on that, we started to walk on this road alongside the river, and there was more barbed wire fences around surrounding the nature reserve. So it's just such a business here that everything has to be surrounded and everything has to be private, and you can't get to nature, which should be really common for everybody to enjoy. So we had about 2 more kilometers of walking to Punta Arenas, and there was this truck passing by, and the guy asked us if we need a ride, so we jumped on, and he took us all the way to Punta Arenas, which was good because we could have dinner earlier. And today was a nice day. Day in nature is always good, apart from few bad things like the barbed wire fences, which I really dislike, and it's just a culture here like that. And also the closing times, that's like a business here. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more adventures from Punta Arenas. And as always, stay healthy and stay adventurous.